I'm ready if you're ready.
Okay, we'll get started. It's 4 o'clock. This is the Thursday, January 17th, 2019 Board of Health meeting. We have a quorum present, so we'll move forward. Just a reminder for everybody, this meeting is being recorded by audio and visually. Public comment, I see nobody's here, so we'll move on to review of the minutes. Does anybody have any corrections or anything?
Nope. I'm good.
Motion to approve?
Move to approve for approval.
All in favor?
All in favor, aye.
Aye. Minutes approved. So we'll move to director's report.
All right, we'll do a quick one. We wanted to throw a couple of things together for you. One of them, you have a couple of handouts, is just the preliminary deer numbers for deer kill for 2018. They shot 299 bucks, 129 button bucks, and 36 doe. I found it interesting. The average 3-year average was 645. Yeah. Also talking to the environmental police officer, this preliminary number of 780, 789 is the highest number since the 2003 regular season, and then I believe in 04 we had the February hunt, and that was, we didn't have hard numbers. I didn't get hard numbers from him, but it was a little over 800, he thought. So going 789 and not having a hunt, this is the second highest.
You think it's because the herd is bigger?
I don't really know. Maybe it was the weather was conducive to being out there and hunting more. Could be that the herd was bigger. Just there's a number of different.
We don't get numbers on car,
Well, that's the other thing that's missing from this is cars, untagged deer, which there are untagged deer, and then you also have wounded that don't make it.
There was 3 dead does in 3 days on the Wisconsin Road by Tom Nevers.
Not just there. I've seen them in other places.
Yeah, oh no, I know just what did I see in the morning.
Yeah.
Right. So the numbers are certainly higher than this. So
is it DPW that picks up?
I don't know if they're keeping numbers on that, but they do. They used to. We used to have some roadkill numbers, but I don't know. But I would have to think it's significant between the untagged and vehicle accidents with deer. So I mean, so it's a good year as far as reducing the herd on the numbers that we're preliminarily aware of. We'll get some hard numbers from the state biologist here. Maybe by next month I can contact him. So that was one thing we just thought would bring to your attention. And then I gave it kind of a printout of the reportable diseases through Maven, which the hospital takes care of for us, reporting any infectious diseases, foodborne illnesses. They certainly test for more than's on this sheet, but if it's not on this sheet, we didn't have a reportable here on Nantucket. So, I think we're all in agreement that the numbers are most likely higher, but it's at least something for the last year that has been reported.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've got any questions on that, anything you want us to look into as far as this goes?
I'll ask at the next meeting. I'm just curious because this doctor had asked me about whether or not the state had changed the testing, but I can. Yeah. I'll bring that up at the next meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then to wrap it up, we'll have you all implemented the change in tobacco regulations as of December 28th, and Ms. Lefebvre will give us an update as to how that went. Okay.
So, as you're all aware, you passed amended local regulations 72 and 77 at the December meeting. The regulations went into effect as amended on the 28th of December. So in early January, Bob Collette, who spoke at that December meeting, mailed us out the signage that you see, the big blue and black and yellow one. So once we got those signs, I hand-delivered them to all our tobacco retailers. We got a little bit of pushback. We got some calls when I was out visiting the retailers that, oh, people are grandfathered if they're 18 or 19 or 20, they can still smoke. And we don't know if it was one young man that was going around to different places or if it was a couple of people. And there was a little bit of a confusion because some of the municipalities, cities and towns in the state had not gone to 21 immediately. So I think there was a little bit of confusion. So we went back out. I went back out and visited them all again personally. I sent a memo out to all the retailers, and then I printed that second sheet. We had it laminated so that they could share it with their employees, saying that there's no grandfathering. No matter if you're in the military, you're already smoking, you're 18, 19, coming from a different country, coming from a different state or a different town. If you buy in Massachusetts, you cannot buy unless you're 21. And that also includes parents cannot buy for their 18, 19, 20-year-old kids. So we just wanted to reach out to people a couple of times. So that's been done. We'll have a handful of, maybe about another 5 or 6 retailers that will open up for the spring and the summer. So we'll have to do that again. You know, in the next few months, we'll reach out to the new businesses that are opening up with that signage and, you know, just the discussion. And then I also sent an email out to the police department, chief of police, state police, and the superintendent of schools, just telling them this is what's going on, just so you know, in the schools and out and about. No grandfathering, no sales, and things like that. So I think it's hit home. Most of them are on the same page now and they understand, you know, what they can and can't do. So if there's any questions, feel free.
The other thing I found out, I was talking to Alan Bell, and the state has sent a letter to all the drugstores and things like that. They had to take all their stuff out of the drugstore. No cigarettes, no cigars, no tobacco products whatsoever.
Yeah, they can't sell anymore if you're a pharmacy. So, you know, there's a couple that we've lost. And we also lost a handful of retailers when we raised our permitting up to 150. A lot of people said, oh, we're not going to do it anymore. So, you know, we probably have about 26 in total for the town at this point.
Okay. Thanks, Kath.
Okay.
Good. And that would conclude the director's report.
Okay. So, we'll move on to 45 Millbrook Road, the loan. And just for the record, I would like to point out that I do have a contract in place with Mr. Gallagher for pumping. But since we only have 3 people, I would just like to still vote on this because in no way do I stand to financially gain from the approval or disapproval from the loan. So
Fine.
I just wanted to make that clear.
So, do you want to speak on that, Art? It's
Sure.
just a loan.
Art Gasparo, Nantucket Engineering, I designed the system and have submitted the permits. The owners put together the loan applications themselves. If you had any particular questions, I'd be happy to address them, though we were before you last year for the actual variance.
I'm good.
Yeah, it's all ready to go, right? Yeah.
I would just say that in reviewing the application, I mean, it is a tough spot, as Art would concur. And I didn't see any excess like landscaping issues. It's pretty much a straightforward repair. It's just a tough spot and tough soils as they get some wetlands and things like that. So, and it's an alternative design septic system on top of it. So everything looked in order to us at the department, and our recommendation would be to approve the loan.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, 38 Walwinet.
Okay, so this is, I don't see the applicant here, but I will just give a quick overview. It's a failed septic system on separation within Nantucket Harbor watershed, right up there on the corner of Medui Creek and Walwinet Road, right on, sort of pretty close there to Pulpus Harbor. So they've been ordered to repair the system, and in the repair, they can only get, I think, 74 feet from one wetland and 69, 70 feet from the other wetland. There's nowhere on the property that they can comply. That's the best they can get is the 74 and 69 feet from the wetland. So it's maximum feasible compliance. We're getting an upgrade, which is far better than what's there now. It's an innovative alternative septic system on top of that. It'll be in compliance with, the Nantucket Harbor watershed innovative alternative requirement, and we would recommend that you grant the variance.
That's the existing house right on the corner.
Yeah. It says,
Chaos
Jane
Corner,
Lamb's old house.
Jane Lamb's, okay.
Yeah.
I move to approve the variance
Second.
request for 38 Walwinet.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Chairman says aye. One, how does that work with Concom, whether they,
Well, we've got it here that, provided Concom approves, they're in Concom right now. I did forget to mention that. The surveyor has got an application there
Do
asking
you
for.
want to add that to the motion?
You could add that to the
Okay.
motion. It was part of the recommendation, as long as Concom approves.
so we'll, do we gotta go back? We'll add that as part of the motion to, as long as Concom approves
Approves,
that
yeah.
the variance will be granted by the Board of Health.
Right.
Okay. Last one on the list. 16 Fulling Mill. I think that's
so,
Art
yep.
also, yeah.
Once again, Art Gasparo. This is a upgrade repair of a failed system. Maximum feasible compliance, no additional bedrooms, very limited lot area. It's that sort of inner circle, if you will, of Fulling Mill Road when you go out there. So there's wetlands on site, and we've placed the new leach bed as far as we can. It'll be an Oakson drip system along with IA, so it's actually kind of a double IA, if you will. And the only thing is because of the lot area and the wetlands, and we have to be within 100 feet. And I had planned to submit to Concom tomorrow, but it'll actually be in 2 weeks, so we'll be before them. And of course, the same stipulation is fine. I expect that it will be approved there as well. It's maximum feasible compliance.
Okay.
Now, does that have to have conservation?
It does.
It's
He's
all
in front of Concom in 2 weeks with this.
Okay, good, okay.
So can I get a motion to approve as long as
Yes.
everything is good with the approval of Concom?
Conservation. I make a motion to
I'll
approve.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Art. Anybody else have any questions or anything you want to bring
15
up?
minutes has to be a record.
We might have beat them by a minute.
The only thing I want to ask you about is, I was talking to some people about the Nantucket sewer and the dump and everything. Is there anything going on? Is there do you have anything from a landfill at all?
We haven't met in a while. Since we met, I think that was back in, October. I think, and I spoke to Cormac about it a little the other day, in which, they have they're working on a separate project with some, stormwater runoff from with their engineer, and which would be down the road, maybe after it gets eventually capped and stuff. But no, we haven't officially met to actually rerun the estuaries model again and get the loading number that we need for, you know, SMS to run the model again. But I know we're getting close, and I think Brian House from SMS is, he's on board. He's just waiting for some more information. So, and I haven't talked to Rob personally about what's going on.
Okay.
I saw Cormac at selectman meeting, and I guess he had sent a letter or something about activating the fertilizer. I don't know if you're aware of it, the fertilizer committee
Yeah,
again.
I mean, I could comment on that. So, yeah, he definitely had some concerns, and basically what I can tell you is if you look at our logs, we did, I think 100, I calculated a little different than Roberto calculated. I used it just for this particular fertilizing season, and I came up with 116 inspections from our department. When you look at that, take out the weekends, 6 months, roughly comes down to 1 inspection a day, which I think is pretty good for our department to be making contact with a landscaper, you know, every day, every working day, Monday through Friday, from April 15th to October 15th. Do there need to be some changes within that? Yes. And is Roberto working on that? Yes, he is. And trying to, you know, stiffen that up a little bit. I mean, I know Natural Resources did, I think, 113 in that period. So you're looking at 2 departments making contact with 2, you know, 1 a day pretty much. I mean, that's not the problem, us getting out there. The problem is, I think we need to find a way to make the regulations work a little better in the environment's favor. So I think that's what they're working on. And
This is enforcement?
well, enforcement is tough because there is a little issue with us getting on private property. You know, we just can't go on. They don't have a license. Like, we just can't walk on somebody's property, you know, without permission. So I think we're going to try to clear some of that up. We did have, I think, this last year, we did have 1 corrective action and fine out of those inspections. You know, when you do that many, probably 10, 15%, there should be some corrective action, I would think. I mean, that's just a, you know, from inspecting, that's about what you're going to find out there. So they're working on that, and I expect to see something. We expect to see something probably for the 19 season. I know Jeff Carlson and Roberto are working very hard on that.
I think, you know, we may have it as an agenda item for
February
to talk about, and maybe
get an update. I mean,
you know, right, and maybe some of the advisory committee members will be here too. You know, it's they're on it. It was a pretty good email, so you saw it.
Oh, okay.
Right?
I didn't know the details.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sparked a lot of interest.
Well, it is important, and
Yes.
it needs to work you know, properly for us, for the community, for the water bodies.
Right. Anything else? Okay, a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.